Yes, I can.
All right. Congratulations on the win, Coach. If you could start maybe with an opening statement, we'll go right into questions from our media who are on the call.
Proud of our football team today. Obviously against an overmatched opponent. I thought the most important thing today was Miami and how we played. And number one, I thought it was a clean game. We had only 3 penalties, and I think 2 of those were at the end. Very few missed assignments. We're just a clean game. And with all the people that were able to get in there, I thought that was key for us. Obviously proud of both quarterbacks in a situation where they kind of had to, really both make their debut. I thought both guys handled the offense very well. We had very few procedural issues, and I thought they distributed the ball very well and showed what they can do down the field. And we talked about everybody around the quarterback playing better to help out that position. And I think the depth that we have with some of the weapons that we have is really starting to show and exciting for the future. Defensively, obviously, anytime you hold someone without a point, that's a big deal. Again, understanding that the opponent was outmatched, but still, that's in terms of us and our responsibility and how we handle our jobs. We were more physical this week, ran to the ball well, tackled well. A lot still to correct, but a good feeling for everybody in that locker room heading into ACC play. And with that, I'll open it for questions.
Coach, we're going to start first with Tim Reynolds from the Associated Press. Tim, go ahead.
Hi, Manny. You alluded to much of this, but just it had been such a rough start for you guys, and then dealing with the injuries and everything else. Just I know the opponent was overmatched. There's no question, but just the fact that your kids got a Saturday to enjoy, that they got to see results of the work and what the work can lead to. Just how valuable was that as you try to get this thing right?
These games matter. These games matter in college football. These games don't just matter for what it does for Central Connecticut's program, but it matters because it helps you with your developmental guys. I mean, it's when you play a sport that doesn't have an exhibition game or a preseason game, it's hard to get guys in the game at times, especially when you're playing tight games and everything's so critical. So be able to play as many people as we did today. Offense is so much about confidence, and I think it was obvious to everyone to see that we weren't as confident, the same confident bunch the first 3 weeks offensively as we were a year ago. That doesn't mean that it's all fixed today, but there is a good feeling in that locker room. There's a good feeling because not just because of the victory, not because of the score, not because of the opponent. It's because of all the things that we emphasized this week in practice, the things that we asked them to do, our energy on the sideline, our enthusiasm for their teammates and for each other. We were excited to play today. And that means that we're on the right path and our leadership's in the right spot. And like I said, our young guys are coming along and are going to continue to contribute to this football team.
Manny, a quick follow-up. I know you obviously missed some guys with injury and at least a couple guys suspended. Everyone who could have played, did you get them all in? Do you think everybody who was eligible got in?
Like everybody that was dressed on the sideline?
Yes.
I don't want to say for sure because I don't know exactly. I would think that, man, I hate to say this, but I do believe that everybody on scholarship got in. And I would say if not everybody did, very few didn't, which is good. And I think the cooler thing is the ones that did actually did a nice job, and there was not a large drop off in our execution, regardless of who was in the game.
Thank you.
A reminder to please use the hand raise function if you've got a question for Coach. We're going to go to Kobe Price at the Sun Sentinel. Kobe, go ahead.
Hey, Manny, really want you to focus on the quarterbacks, Jake and Tyler. What did those two do to you? What really stood out to them, I guess, the same but also differently between the playing skill sets?
The two quarterbacks, number one, I thought they were both poised. Sometimes you just tell just in conversations during pregame, in between series. They handled themselves very well. They knew what was going on, and both guys can obviously throw the ball. Couple decisions that both guys, need to get corrected on, but that's to be expected. And I thought the thing that was really exciting was making plays down the field. I know Tyler hit the one to Rambo down the field, which was a really nice throw and catch. Jake had a couple down the field. I think he had the one to Jacoby. So again, what we've been talking about all year is being more explosive on the outside lanes. They did that, of course. I think Tyler had 2 that went for, I think Tyler had 2 one-play drives that, one he flips it to Burchard, and I think his was on the screen to Cam Harris. So that's gonna make the yards per attempt seem pretty good. Probably not sustainable, but Really just proud of both guys. But more importantly, and to put a finishing touch on this answer, I'm proud of the team for the confidence they put in the two quarterbacks. Because taking over for Derek King on Saturday is no small thing. Derek is such a huge presence on our football team. And for our guys to rally behind Tyler and Jake shows how highly they think of those two guys. And that's based off of the evidence of what we saw in spring and in training camp.
Coach, we're going to go next to Mike DePasquale from WSBN. Mike, go ahead for Coach.
Thanks, Cam. Manny, just a follow-up on Tyler and Jake. Not knowing the situation if Derek will be available Thursday against Virginia, is this something you would consider doing again against the Cavaliers? You use both of them almost equally against the Cavaliers.
Yeah, like you say, it's kind of a hypothetical right now. Based off the evidence of what you saw today, it feels like both guys, we feel good about, and both guys, neither guy would not deserve to play. So that's something we have to watch the film, reevaluate, see where we're at, see where Derek's at. Obviously, it's a short week, quick turnaround, and whatever gives us the best chance to win is what we'll do.
Coach, we go next to David Lake from 24/7. David, go ahead.
Yeah, I guess I was just going to ask specifically, do you have an update on Derek King right now, just how he's doing?
Same thing. You probably saw him out there on the sideline. He's limited in some of his motions and movements. I think the plan was to kind of give it some time, see how it settles down, and then we'll have an idea. I would imagine sometime this week. Quick turnaround, so we got to get an idea for reps and practice and all that. So I probably won't know more till Monday, I guess, later in the week. I'm not sure.
Coach, got two more hands up. We're going to go first to Susan Miller-Degnan from the Miami Herald. Susan?
Hey, Manny, I saw Derek out there, and he had, I guess, a headset on. How much did he help those quarterbacks, and did he do anything today to contribute?
You would have to ask the quarterbacks when they're up here. I'm not exactly sure of the conversation that was going on, in between. I'm sure he did. His presence, just being in the meeting rooms and that type of deal. What a great sounding board for both those guys. I don't know. He may take credit for calling one of those plays. I'm not really sure, but that's a great question to ask those two.
Last one for you, Coach. We have Tim Reynolds back from the AP. Tim, go ahead.
Manny, I'm sorry, I don't know what the rules are as far as hours and all that, but logistically, what changes for you this week?
Well, the week gets condensed. So tomorrow's a Sunday. You would normally, have slight introduction on your next opponent. You would spend a lot of time digesting today's film, making corrections, a correction period out in the practice field. This film will be reviewed for 15 minutes with the players tomorrow, just some highlights and lowlights, and then you move on. And we'll be out there tomorrow night working on Virginia, and then normally we'd have a Monday off. Monday's now a practice day for us. Monday's a Tuesday, and that's kind of how your week goes. Monday's a Tuesday, Tuesday's a Wednesday, and then Wednesday is a Thursday into a Friday because it all kind of happens fast. So everything gets condensed, packaged in tight. That's a very challenging thing against a team like Virginia because they're one of the more, every year in, year out, Bronco Mendenhall and his staff, they're one of the harder to scheme against teams that there are. So multiple on offense, so multiple on defense. So it's going to be a lot to digest for our players, and that's why that'll start. We'll be in as a staff first thing tomorrow morning, different than a normal Sunday. It's highly urgent right off the jump.
Thank you.
Coach, thanks for spending a few minutes with us tonight, and congratulations again on the win.
Okay, thank you all.